Hello and welcome to another sunset. So let me know if there's anyone in the chat. Check our audio, make sure everything's working okay. This could be a very short stream. It's extremely windy out here and we're expecting some rain. So it could either be epic or it could be a disaster. So if anyone's in the chat, let me know what the audio's like. It is very windy. We've got waves crashing, it's all happening at the moment, so it's looking really good, to tell the truth. Nothing like some good stormy clouds around. I'm just a bit worried that things might blow over in this wind. It is very windy out where I am, so I might move back a little bit closer in later. So yeah, if there's anyone in the chat, just let me know what the audio's like for starters. Can you hear me okay? That's the main thing. And then we'll start taking some photos. So yes, welcome to another sunset session. So don't really have a plan today, just wanted to come out and take some photos. I've been out a few times this week and it's been very hit and miss. We've had a couple of good days, we've had a couple of bad days. It's been a little bit hit and miss. Today's looking really good. So as soon as we get these audio, as soon as we get the audio sorted, I'll go and start taking some photos. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully everything comes through okay. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to get some good shots today. And what I might even do is I might put on an ND filter and we'll have a bit of a play around with some long exposures just for something a little bit different. There's definitely some rain out there on the horizon. So this could be a short stream. If it starts to absolutely pour down, I might call it off, only because my phone and my microphones aren't exactly waterproof. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to go and get some shots now. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me. And I'll go and start taking some photos while we've got this sun the way it is. It's looking pretty good at the moment. So hello and welcome to another live stream. So yeah, as you can see, we've got some really nice sun rays coming through the horizon. Some big storm clouds are rolling in. If we're really lucky, we might get a storm. I did see a flash of lightning out over there before. It was just one brief flash. So there's a little bit going on. There's a little bit going on. So first thing I'm going to do, look, I've only just got here, so I'm just going to look for compositions. And again, it's all about this cloud at the moment. That's where all our action is. So not worrying too much about the foreground, but at the same time, I need some foreground just to make our shot interesting. So I'm going to go and frame this up. G'day Leslie, how are you? Sounds good? Okay, good. How's that sky? Have a look at those sunbeams. I've got to take photos. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll run through everything that I'm going to do, as per usual. And what I might even do, while I get framed up, I'll bring you down with me. We've got an incoming tide. So those who know, have been here before, incoming tides are the best tides because everything up here is nice and dry. So as the tide comes in, we'll start to push back. There's a nice rock pool we've got over here. So yeah, tide's coming in, nice dry rocks. So I'm just going to try and get these waves, and we've got a nice leading line heading out towards our sunset. So let's just get set up here now. I need to make sure everything is very steady because that wind is pretty nasty and I don't want to blow everything in the water. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Yeah, look, it's not a great composition to tell the truth. But I'll show you what I've got framed up. I think I am going to put an ND filter on. Yeah, I'm going to put an ND filter on. Our shutter speed's too fast. I want to try and get some nice movement in the water. So I'm going to put on an ND 64 and that should give me my half a second shutter speed, which I love. Just going to put this somewhere where the wind isn't going to blow it over. It should be all right there. So bear with me while I go and get set up. Yeah, I'm going to put an ND filter on just to get some movement in the water. It's still very bright. It's a good half an hour before sunset. So let me grab a filter. So I'm using the K&F filters still. And yeah, look, I'm not a lens, I'm not a review channel. So they are what they are, and I thought I used to have issues with a slight purple tint to my images, but I think that's Lightroom. Because in my last live stream that I did when I did the editing session, I had a few issues with Lightroom actually giving my photos a purple color cast. Okay, so this is the ND filter. So as you can see, just cuts out the light. So if I put that up to there, I don't know how well you'll see it, but yeah, it's going to cut out, what is it, ND64? I think that's 6 stops of light. So that should slow our shutter speed down nice and slowly. So I can kind of get around about a half a second shutter speed to get that nice movement in the water, which I like. Now I'm just keeping an eye on my clouds, because if it rains, I might have to call it quits. So yeah, let me know what the audio's like. I'm just going to go and frame something up, and then I'll bring you down. So yeah, just these leading lines. Nothing real exciting yet. I've got a nice rock pool that I'm just waiting for the tide to come in. So we're just going to get set up here, and I do want to get down fairly low to get more of that sky and to stop that wind blowing everything around. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll bring you over and I'll show you what I've got framed up, and I'll kind of talk you through how to shoot in manual mode. Because when we're doing sunsets, that's what we want to do. We want to shoot in manual mode, so then we've got full control. Let me take my glasses off. So then we've got full control over what we're doing. Just makes things a little bit more fun when we shoot in manual. And we can get what we want. All right, I'm just going to bring this over before that tide comes in too much. And I'll show you the back of the camera. And I'll sort of run through everything. Now, I haven't set anything up yet. I'm going to put it into live view for your viewing pleasure. Now, first thing I want is my aperture. I'm going to set my aperture to f10. Anywhere between f9 to f14 for our depth of field, because I do want to get some foreground and I want to get the sky. So that's my first priority. First priority, f10. Okay, and then my second priority is that shutter speed of around about half a second. And as you can see, everything's still very dark. Okay, so I'm going to have to take my aperture down, get my aperture down to f8. Let's get up to about an 1/8 of a second shutter speed. G'day Linda, how are you? Looks like you will get some decent shots. I hope so. Look at the sky. It's looking really nice. So there's a full pan, and this is one of my favourite spots because you can get a sunrise and you can get a sunset over the ocean. Point Vernon it's the best. Look at these waves. All right, let's stop talking and get set up. So as you can see, with that filter's probably cutting out a bit too much light for my liking, but we're going to get all this in one shot. Okay, so I'm at an 1/8 of a second, f8, and now my focus, and I'm just going to focus around about halfway into the frame. And again, I focus manually as well. So I'm going to focus around about there, and shooting at f8, everything should still be fairly sharp. Now I'll just check that I've got a 2-second timer on. I've got a 2-second timer on. And I'm just going to wait for a wave to come in and crash over those rocks. And I might even bump up my ISO because things are a little bit dark. Okay, there's our first shot. Not a really big wave, but it's something. Okay, here comes a good one now. So just time it. Takes a little bit of practice getting the timing right. But as you can see, we're getting those rocks crashing, the waves crashing over the rocks, which is kind of what I want. Okay, so we're getting everything in one shot, and that's because we're underexposing. Okay, if I want to get more detail into my foreground, I can speed up my shutter speed, but I don't want that long an exposure. And I might even change filter soon, because I really do want to be shooting it at slightly smaller aperture, just for a depth of field. Okay, so let's go up to 2.5 seconds. Let's go up to 4 seconds. Okay, and as you can see, that kind of blows out our sky. And we'll do a bit of a focus stack with this one. So again, I'm going to wait for a wave. And because we're at 4 seconds, as long as we've got that wave kind of rushing in over the rocks, we should get a nice long exposure. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is speed up my shutter speed to get that sky. Okay, so that'll be our first blend in the editing session. Again, it's not the most epic at the moment, but that's basically a quick rundown of manual mode. Get your aperture set first, work out where you want your shutter speed. Okay, so ultimately that is kind of where I want it. I want f14 at 1/6 of a second. So to get it all correctly exposed, we'd normally just bump up our ISO. Okay, so if we bump up our ISO to say 400, now everything's slightly better exposed. But I don't want to shoot at that high ISO. Okay, so I like to shoot at ISO 100. Okay, and I'm just going to play with aperture to get my foreground. Go back up, I'll just wait for this wave to roll. I want to be at least f8. We'll get this one as it runs out. And we'll get another one as it runs in. And yeah, now with all the adjustments we have in Lightroom and Photoshop, noise isn't the issue it used to be. So I don't mind underexposing. I'd rather slightly underexpose than bump up my ISO. And I'll show you that in the editing stage. So here comes a nice wave now. Okay, and we get that one crashing over the rocks. Okay, so if we have a look at it, see all that movement over the rocks, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put this camera down. And just move back a bit, okay? The tide's coming in fairly quickly. So I'm just going to push back. I'm just going to try and play it safe tonight, to tell the truth. Because there's a lot going on. There's wind and there's waves. And I had a bit of a drop of the microphone the other night. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's in here watching. Yeah, the sky's looking really good, so I might stop talking. I'm going to get this tripod set up somewhere where it's nice and solid and level, and then I'll just sort of concentrate. I'll go and find some compositions. I've got one lined up, I've just got to wait for the tide to come in a bit more. And I'll try and set this up, so let's get up here. Okay, so there's my rock pool. So we've got a nice big rock pool down here. And once that tide comes in, we get all the water rushing over those rocks into the pool. So that's kind of my plan at this stage, is to get all that water rushing in there. But if all our colour stays out that way, I might have to rethink that plan. Okay, I've got some nice colour. We've got colour everywhere at the moment. So, hope you're enjoying the view. And hopefully the stream holds out, the audio's okay. So let me get set up and I'll talk you through my shots. I'm just looking for somewhere now, just looking for some sort of interest in my foreground, which I shouldn't be worrying about foreground at the moment. It's all about that sky. Let's get that sky. I'm just going to pop this down here. Okay, let me go and frame something up. And you know what? I'm going to take this filter off as well. So I think that filter is a bit too strong because the clouds are so dark. And this is one of those things that I'm going to kind of explain, that there's no such thing as perfect settings for a sunset, because now all that, the sun's gone behind that cloud, so it's very dark. When I first put that filter on, it was about perfect. But now that we've kind of lost all our colour and lost our light, things have gotten dark. So things change very quickly when it comes to a sunset, and if that sun comes out again, everything will brighten up and I'll probably want my other filter on. But by the way it's looking at the moment, I don't think that sun's going to come out. So I'm going down to an ND8 now. So ND8 will just cut out, I think that's 2 stops of light. So that'll just, I just want that slightly slower exposure rather than a fast exposure. So bear with me while I get organised. And this is what you're going to see in live streams. You're going to see the chaotic moments when you're stuffing around with your settings and filters and probably missing some good shots. Okay, so that's better. Now, what I'm going to do, again, I want this water movement. I do like my water and my rocks. And I'm trying to find some waves that are splashing over rocks to make things a bit more interesting. Some good ones down here, but I don't want to get in the water. I don't want to get in the water at this stage. Yeah, look, again, this isn't the greatest composition. Once the tide comes in and starts coming over these rocks, it'll look nicer. So I'm just going to get prepared for when that tide starts to come in. Get my tripod nice and steady. Get it as level as possible. Let's frame something up. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. Okay, so it's all about the sky at the moment, and I don't like how much foreground I've got. So I'll show you what I mean by too much foreground. Okay. So let's just wait for a wave to roll in. Once the waves get up over this rock, that's when things will get a little bit nicer. Now let me show you what I've got framed up. So let me know what the audio's like. Hopefully the audio's good. G'day Pam, how are you? Did you manage to get out here last night? I was, look, I was being a daddy taxi last night. But yeah, I think there was a bit of cloud around last night, or did it clear off? Did it eventually burn off back to nothing? So this is kind of what I've got framed up. Okay, so I've got these leading lines leading out towards all this epicness on the horizon. Okay, now what I don't want is too much of this over this side, okay? This is all just uninteresting rocks. I kind of want, composed like this. So we've got a nice diagonal running through our frame and out towards that sunset. So that's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm framing up. All right, so I'm going to go and put this camera back now and hello, I'm going to do my thing. And then once I think I've got something kind of half decent lined up, I'll come and get the camera back. But yeah, hopefully you're all enjoying the scenery and enjoying this sunset. God, I would love some lightning. Some lightning would be really nice. All right, so again, I haven't changed my focus. I'm shooting at 17mm, which is on full frame. That's classed as wide angle. And I'm just going to wait for some waves to roll in. Capture my foreground. So there's a wave now. Get that splashing over the rocks. Yeah, got some nice movement over this side too. Okay, I'm going to shoot a couple of foreground shots first, keeping my eye on the sky. And if it's looking good. We'll get that one as well. That's not a really good wave. I want a nice big wave. There's a big set out the back that I'm going to wait for. We might even shoot away from the sun as well, because it's starting to get a bit of colour behind this. But this is too good not to shoot. Okay, so again, I'm just going to get a bit more sky. I don't really care too much about my foreground. Like, foreground does make a good shot. We'll get this wave as it rolls in. Yeah, foreground definitely helps you get a good, here's a good wave. That's much better. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's good. That's nice. So now I'm going to expose for the sky just by speeding up my shutter speed. Okay, again, they're not the most epic shots. Like, I'm really waiting for this rock pool to take off. So I'll bring the camera down. I'll show you what I've got framed up. Okay, yeah, I did. The sky looks a bit more impressive tonight than last night. Yeah, I did get a few good shots though of movement. Okay, good, because that was your plan, wasn't it? To get some movement in the water, get some waves crashing. So that's good. And that's kind of, that's what you're going to see in my live streams. Not every day is going to be epic. Okay, like today's pretty epic, to tell the truth. Oh, look at that, I just missed. Right, let me just get a few more shots. I've just seen a composition. All these, the water rushing over these rocks here looks really nice. So I'm just going to come back and try and get that. Apologies for the camera. Yeah, look at that. That's looking nice. It's very windy out here, so I'm just kind of making sure that everything's steady. Look at that water movement and the sky, and now we're talking. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, so yeah, shooting in manual mode. Getting that half a second exposure. Let's get my tripod a bit more level. And I'm continually moving my tripod because the rocks are all uneven. So I want the tripod to be as level as I possibly can. Number one, so the wind doesn't blow it over. And number two, then I don't have to adjust everything quite as much. Oh wow, that's looking pretty good. Okay, I need to come back just a tiny bit. Just watch out that I don't hit the camera. And then I'll show you what I've got framed up. I'm going to go for a 1/6 of a second this time. See what, oh yeah, that's good. It's good, but it's not great. It's good, but it's not great. It's all about the sky at the moment, and I'm capturing all this in one exposure, which is good. So now that light, the light's forever changing. Now let me show you what I've got framed up. And now I'm at that stage, because that sun is so diffused, I can actually get all this in one shot. So this is what I've got framed up, and all I'm doing is waiting for these waves to crash over the rocks. And as you can see from my histogram, here comes a wave. Oh, that's a good one. Did I miss it? I think I missed that. Damn it. Comes another one. That's better. That's better. Okay, that's nice. Okay, probably a bit too much white water, to tell the truth. Tide's coming in quickly. I'm going to get all that whitewash as it runs out on the next shot. It's not a great composition, but it's all about the sky at the moment. And it's all on the horizon, so I don't need to frame it up too high. Okay, so I don't need to get up high in the sky. Like, everything's kind of happening on that horizon level. So I don't need to include too much sky. Let's get that as it runs out. Yeah, we need more white water. Here comes a nice big wave now. So I've got a couple of shots of the waves crashing over the rocks. So now I'll get it as the water starts to run out. And yeah, that's nice. We'll get that one as well. Yeah, that's nice. And yeah, getting all this in one shot. So, you know, if I expose any longer, then I start to blow out my highlights. If I expose any less, then I start to lose some shadow detail. So I'm getting that, it's a fine line between overexposing and underexposing. And I'd rather slightly underexpose, just because it's so much easier to bring back shadow detail than it is to bring out blown highlights. Here comes a nice wave. Let's get that one. I completely missed that as well. But yeah, look, they're looking nice. I'm going to change composition because I'm not 100% happy with the one I'm doing at the moment. We still don't have water into our little rock pool just yet. There's a nice rock down in front just here. And I'm just going to push back. Tide's coming in. It's all about staying safe today. Let me get this camera up here into some much safer area. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. A bit of a hectic stream, this one, to tell the truth. There's just so much going on. And we're going to have days like this. We're going to have days where, you know, things are starting to go off, and it's sort of scrambling to find a composition that I like, and I haven't really found one yet. I'm sort of planning on the tide to be up there a bit more. There's a nice rock pool over here. Yeah, that's that might work. There's a nice rock pool here. Once the tide comes in over this one, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let me get this set up and then I'll show you the shot. That's much nicer. This almost reminds me of a photo I've got on my website called X Marks the Spot. And that's kind of what I'm looking for with this one. I might need to come back a little bit further. Put down that a little bit low. So I want to get close to my foreground because we're almost on sunset now. So again, I'll get all this framed up and sorted first. How's that looking? That's not bad. No, I need more of that rock pool. I need more of that rock pool. That's better. That's better. Yeah, it's okay. It's not great. It's not great. Let's go to F9. Yeah, it's not quite the composition I was hoping for. Now I've got to wait for a wave. Let's, no, I don't like it. I'm just going to readjust, and sometimes it's just a matter of readjusting a little bit. And I reckon this one might work better in a vertical, to tell the truth. So I'm going to put my camera into portrait mode. Hopefully the audio's working okay, because I think I've sorted out my audio issues. I hope I've sorted out my audio issues. That's better. That's better. Now I just need to wait for a wave. I'm going to slightly underexpose, because our sky is very bright at the moment. Try and get my horizon level. Here comes a wave. Will that reach? It's not big enough. So yeah, let me know what the audio's like. Hopefully it's still good. I've been playing around with the microphone a fair bit. That one's almost good. So I'm just waiting for that tide to come in and crash over the little area that I want. So I just need a nice big wave to roll in while that sun's still there. I don't want to lose the sun. So I'm just going to take a few shots anyway, because I've got some nice reflections in the rock pool. If I wait too long for this water to come in, I might lose that sunset. Because once the sun sets, we're going to lose all colour. It's going to go grey. So I've got to kind of get shots now while that sun's still there. Because once we lose that sun, things will just go very grey until blue hour. Come on, waves. Here comes a good one. Here comes a good one. This is the one I want. That's the one I want. 2 seconds. Wasn't quite enough. Just wasn't quite enough. Is that one better? That one's better. There we go. That's nice. I still want another. I want a bigger wave. That's nice. We've got some nice waves rolling out this way. So again, I'm kind of looking at leading lines leading out towards the sunset. Just to have something in our foreground to make it slightly interesting. Really helps a shot. Okay, so a lot of people like to just get their camera and just shoot the sky. I like to have some foreground in my shot. Still sounds good? Okay, perfect. Now let me just bring you down a little bit closer. Need to keep an eye on my bag and everything as well. The wind seems to have died off a little bit. So as you can see, we're starting to lose that colour pretty quickly. It's getting all very grey. So yeah, the composition I've got isn't the best in the world, but... And this is what happens. If you don't get the right tide... That was nice. I need a bigger wave. If you don't get the right tide... I'm going to move. I don't like what I'm doing here. Let's get up here. That's better. That's much better. That's better. And shooting in vertical, I can get more foreground and sky. I can get like a much... much more of everything, because there's not a lot happening either side. Okay, there's not much out that way, there's not much out that way. It is all literally straight in front of us. Let me get those waves as they wash out. We're going to lose that sun soon. We might get a little bit of a glow. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and I'll show you why I love whitewash, because even if we're slightly underexposed, having some whitewash in our foreground lifts our brightness. It actually lifts our exposure. Okay, so that's what I've got framed up. Now you watch what happens. Here's a good wave. Let me get this one. Okay, and look how much brighter it makes our foreground. Okay, so it almost balances out the light between the sky and the foreground. Where if I take a shot now, where it's just rock, it's going to be very dark. Okay, so there's that shot, and then there's that one. But I'd like some more water sort of in closer. But again, it's one of those compositions that it's not the greatest composition in the world, to tell the truth. Got some really nice colour out there over Fraser Island. It's too far away. Okay, so this is one of those things where I'm often looking behind me, because sometimes the colours behind start to go off, but it's all very grey out that way, and that's because the sun was blocked by all this cloud, so we kind of lost a lot of colour simply because of all that cloud. Okay, so now we've pretty much lost all of our colour, so we're going to pretty much have to wait until blue hour next. But what we're going to do is, I'm not going to just sit here and do nothing. When it's grey like this, we can get some really nice black and whites. Okay, so now that we've kind of lost all our, sorry about the quick camera movements, but yeah, now that we've kind of lost colour, we can do some dark and moody, we can do some black and white, and this is where the editing will really bring that sky to life. Add some texture to it. There's some nice, see this cloud out here, nice and big and dark. So let me see what else I can get framed up. So now I'm thinking more of the editing side. We've lost all our colour, we've lost our sunset. So now I'm planning not to get washed away. Oh shit, let me just make sure my bag, oh now my rock pool. Okay, good. All right, I'm going over to my rock pool, because now the tide's getting where I want it. Let me just quickly get set up. This is actually going to be good timing, because now I can get my rock pool. Yeah, sorry about the camera movement. Tide's coming in pretty quick, so I'm just lifting everything up onto higher ground. And we're going to work on this rock pool. Okay, so that's kind of the way I want to shoot too. So things are working out quite nicely, to tell the truth. I'm going to put this camera back down. So now I'm going to shoot to edit. Okay, so I've lost colour, I've lost my sunset, so now I'm actually going to shoot with the plan to edit this a little bit later and get a really dark and moody. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to set this camera up just back here a little bit, so you get a nice view of that rock pool. And I'm going to wait for some waves to crash into this rock pool. I'm sticking with my vertical composition. We'll try a bit of both, but I think vertical will work better, because I'll be able to get that whole rock pool and some sky as well. Okay, so it's probably time I take that filter off too. It's getting dark quick. Let me take this filter off. Don't need that anymore. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's nice. Okay, I'll show you what I got framed up in a second. I'm just going to go and put this filter away, and you watch me miss a wave. I almost guarantee that I will miss a wave when I'm putting this filter away. Alright, we might have to do 2 exposures here too. So we might have to do a bit of a blend. So this is when I'm starting to think about the processing side. We're very close to that rock pool, And if I try and get it all in one shot, I'm going to either sacrifice foreground or background. I'm not going to get everything in one shot because we're so close to that rock pool. It'll throw the focus out. Yeah, when you're focusing close to something, your depth of field gets a lot greater or narrower. So I'm going to focus on the rock pool first. So I'm framing this up so I get the entire rock pool in my shot. So bear with me while I just get set up. Okay, that's going to fall forward if I stay there. That's a bit better. Okay, that's much nicer. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna, first thing I want to do is get my foreground sorted. So I'm going to focus in the middle of that rock pool. I'm going to get my foreground shot sorted first, and then I'll do another exposure for the sky. And again, we're going to get all this in one shot. Here comes a wave. Oh, I didn't quite reach. I wanted a bit more. I want a bit more spilling over than that. Even more than that. So we're almost there. I'm just watching the waves now and trying to time it so I get that waterfall effect. Okay, as the tide comes in more and more, that effect will get bigger and bigger, and then things will look better and betterer. G'day Matt, how are you? Sound's cutting out again, damn it. Cutting in and out since you moved. G'day Dana, how are you? Okay. Fun for Moody. Bummer I'm not getting a glow. Yeah, fun channel. Oh, thank you. Yeah, look, it is a fun channel, and yeah, we lost a bit of that glow pretty quickly. A lot of cloud, so thank you and welcome. Okay, now good. Okay, let me I'll try and keep this. Here comes a wave. Let me get ready for this one. Oh, where's my shutter? Didn't quite make it. Here comes another one. So I'm just waiting for these waves to crash into this rock pool. And let's have a quick look at exposure wise. I'm slightly underexposed. Let's try and get this one. Will that make it over? A little dribble over. All right, let me get framed up a little bit better. Okay, I'll try and frame this up so you can kind of see. You can see when I miss my shot. Okay, so I'm going to go down to f8. I still want that half a second to a sixth of a second shutter speed to get that water movement. So here comes a wave now. Will that make it? Yes. That's better. Okay, that's better, but it's still not quite big enough. I want a big wave to crash in over that. It's still not big enough. And yeah, look, audio issues and everything's, it's all running on a mobile network, so sort of relying on reception. Here comes a good wave. Here comes a good wave. That's the one. That's the one I've been waiting for. There we go, that's nice. And now I'm going to get all this whitewash in the pool as well, and we'll blend those photos together. Okay, our sky's exposed. It looks very bright on the screen, but and that's why I like to use my histogram. So if I bring this over, if we look at our histogram, okay, like if we were to look at that, it looks like it's overexposed. Okay, there's no detail in the sky, but I can tell just from that histogram that I've got plenty of detail in that sky. It's not blown out. So highly recommend use a histogram because it gives you a more accurate readout of what you're exposing and what you're not. Okay, so the reason it's kind of all pushed to the left is because our foreground's very dark. And that's part of the metering mode. Now just notice I've got a low battery as well. So, as an example, if I was to slow down my shutter speed, now look at the detail in the sky, but we're way underexposed. So never really rely on your screen, rely on that histogram, because I know if I go that way, now I've blown out my sky, As long as my histogram's slightly under. I've just missed that one. Oh, that's not too bad. Here comes another wave. Let me just grab these. That's a nice one. Yeah, so I'm just relying on the histogram rather than the screen. If you've got your screen really bright, you're sort of not going to see stuff. Subvids, morning from Manchester. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Hervey Bay, Queensland. So yeah, good to see. We're starting to get a few overseas viewers in here, which is really good. And that's kind of what I'm going to get this wave crashing in. It's okay. Here comes a good one. Here comes a good one. That's what I'm looking for. So that'll be nice. Okay, now we're starting to fill up that rock pool. Here comes another one. So that's better. So that's what I'm looking for. Getting all that water movement. If we have a look at that shot. Yeah, it's going to be hard to see on the back of the screen. I'm just going to keep firing away. Here comes a really good one. And that's going to be it. That's one more. That's time to push back because the tide's coming in. That's a really good one. Okay. Oh. That one was good too. I've got to stay. Look, I'm literally underwater now. My feet are wet, but we'll get one more. See how quickly that rock pool filled up? But it might drain a little bit. So I'm just going to wait. Sound cutting out again. Damn it. All right, let me get one more shot. I kind of completely missed that one then. Yeah, the sound. I reckon it is kind of line of sight with these microphones. So as an example, let me get this one, get that as it comes in. Yeah, we need to push back. All right, I'm just going to push back again because tide's coming in. I don't want to be walking over wet rocks with wet feet. So bear with me while I sort of push back a little. And so what's the audio like now? If I spin this around, what's the audio? Because I've got kind of like a line of sight towards the microphone. Does it sound better when I'm facing this way? Because I think that was the problem. I'm losing that, the range. Yeah, hopefully I don't slip here. Excuse my wonky footing. So how's the audio when I'm in front of the camera? Let me just put that there. Put my bag there. Okay, and I'll just go and grab my camera. So let me know what the audio is like when I'm out here in front of the camera. And then it's going to be nearly time to put my glasses on and change my battery. And then wait for blue hour. It looks really nice out this way. So I might see if I can frame something up over there. I'm just trying to stick to the dry rocks at the moment. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's sticking it out. You know, one of the issues we're going to have with live streams is going to be audio. Like I said, we're relying on mobile network. We're relying on the connection between the microphone and the camera to pick it up. And yeah, reception out here isn't the best. I think that's kind of my biggest issue at the moment, is our reception. All good at the moment? Good, yeah. So now it's probably when I stand behind the camera, because I'm out of the firing line, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm just going to, let me come over here. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And then we'll go and find another composition and wait for blue hour to kick in. So I've got a few shots. Look, I don't think I've got any really nice shots, unfortunately. And that's going to happen. Especially, this was a bit of a rushed stream. I kind of just came out last minute. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see that not every time we go out, we're going to get what we want. Okay, the tide's kind of, it's consistently cutting out every few seconds. All right, let me Okay, bear with us for a second. I'm just going to unplug the mic and then I'll reset it. Okay, let's reset. Okay. All right, I've just reset the mic. Let me know what that's like. Hopefully it sounds a little bit better now. And I like what's going on up there, so I'm going to just frame something up. I reckon if I stand in front of the camera this time, things should sound a little bit better. Yeah, these mic issues are really annoying, to tell the truth. I want to try and get everything running nice and smoothly. And if we keep having mic issues, it's not ideal. Okay, so now we're into long exposure territory, so I'm not worried about my half a second exposure anymore. I am just going to simply... Now I just realised I didn't focus stack that last shot either, so my sky is going to be a bit out of focus. The joys of live streaming. So we're going to have a really sharp foreground in that last shot, and I forgot to expose for the sky. So yes, so yeah, thanks Subvids for joining in. So yeah, we're still we're in the teething stage at the moment, where I'm just trying to get the audio sorted and trying to get everything running nice and smoothly, cutting out every few seconds. All right, what I might do, let's go and move all together. See if we can get a bit closer to the mainland, where we might have a little bit better reception. And yeah, I might even take these mics back, to tell the truth, because they're one of those things, when I test them, they're fine, but when we get out here, they aren't quite so good. So yeah, I might have to have a look at getting these microphones replaced. So I'm just trying to get all this nice cloud out this way at the moment, and then yeah, we'll head back and hopefully the reception starts to get a little bit better. So I'll show you what I've kind of framed up again. These aren't going to be the greatest shots of all time. But I'm more worried about my microphone issues, to tell the truth. All right, so let's push back. We're getting to blue hour now. So we're starting to get some nice colour over this way. I just checked that I've got everything. And we'll go and see if we can frame up something else. So yeah, now we're starting to get close to blue hour. So let me go over this way and see how we go. Yeah, these mic issues are a real pain. It's happened a few times now, and everything I've tried just doesn't seem to work. Like, I got rid of the gimbal. I thought the gimbal was causing interference. I've switched the receiver around, the receiver and the transmitter. I've tried playing around with both of them. It could just be a reception issue. Because yeah, like I said, when I'm not streaming, the microphones work perfectly. I came out here the other night and made a bit of a video, and the audio was perfect for the whole time. Yet as soon as I live stream, our audio has issues. So, and look, it could be streaming settings. Like I said, I'm kind of new to this whole streaming thing. Could be my streaming settings. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's sticking with me at the moment. We'll get there. We'll get there. It might take time, but we'll get there. Okay, so now we're long exposure. We're looking at this way. We're into blue hour, and I'm kind of want all this shine on the rocks. So that's what I'm looking for with my long exposure. Okay, I'm going back into portrait mode now. and frame it up and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's not too bad. And again, we can kind of get all this in one shot, to tell the truth. The light's quite nice. I'm going to focus a bit further out this time, so I don't have to focus stack. I can get it all in one shot. And then I'll show you what I've got framed up. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Composition wise, it kind of works. It's got a bit going on in there. So yeah, now we're into long exposure territory. So I'm up to f11, and I think my shutter speed was around about that 5 seconds. They're called, they're Ceramonics. The Ceramonic Blink 500, which apparently had the best reception out of all of them, because I was looking at getting the DJI mics, but the Ceramonic, they just had a better reception. The DJI mics had more functions, and yeah, I might even upgrade to the DJI, to tell the truth. So that's what I've got framed up. I've just got a very simple composition, to tell the truth. So I've got a little bit sort of coming in either side of my frame, and that's what I like to have things pointing, leading me to where we're looking. Okay, so we're looking towards that sunset. So I've got some rocks coming in from the bottom here, got some rocks out here, and everything's kind of pointing me towards that sunset. And slightly underexposing, because that's going to give me all my colour in my sky. G'day Knights, how are you? Just on a work break. Yeah, we've got audio issues again, unfortunately. Thought I'd sorted this out. It's really annoying me. So now I'm going up to 8 seconds. Can we push 10? No, we can't push 10 yet. So I'll go up to 8 seconds. I'll get a few shots here. This composition, it's working. I don't mind what's happening here. I don't want too much of that mainland. That kind of, things get a bit messy when you shoot that way. So I like to have just a little bit on each side of my frame. It becomes a really nice wave. So that's good. That's going to give us lots of movement. Yeah, tide's coming in pretty quickly at the moment. Yeah, the DJI the DJIs are definitely good. They're twice the price, which, look, if they're twice as good, I'll trade these in and get the DJIs. Here comes a big wave. Is that going to get me? Almost. The joys of playing. I love all this white water and the waves. You'll see me out here a fair bit. Yeah, that's looking nice. The phone's not picking up exactly how good that looks, but yeah, that's looking quite nice. Okay, we're well and truly into the blue hour now. I've probably got enough shots there, so let's just change composition again very quickly. And then we might wind it up. Yeah, I'll go and sort out these mics. But like I said, I've done plenty of videos where the mics are fine. So I don't think it's a mic issue. I think it might be a reception issue. It could be a reception issue. It's hard to tell. So I'll do some more testing. Because our network out here is pretty crappy. Like, I know that, when people can ring up, you can be speaking to someone and it quite often drops out. So I don't want to blame the microphones just yet, because I know for a fact that I spoke to my mum and dad today, and yeah, it kept dropping out. So yeah, I don't think I'm ready to blame the mics just yet. I'll keep doing some more testing, but I think it is just a case of our reception being very lackluster here in Hervey Bay. Anyway, you know what? I might actually call it there and try and get home before it gets completely dark. So as you can see, we're right into the last bit of blue hour, and look, it will still get better. I can guarantee you it will still get better. No, look, let's stay. We're here now. Let's get a few more shots. I'll just mix up the composition a bit so I don't go home with too many shots the same. How does this look over here? I like to have lots of, when I'm doing long exposures, I like to have lots of rocks with water movement around the rocks. Okay, I think, yeah, when you're doing long exposure, it's good to have like a nice solid object. And yeah, I reckon this might work down here. It's getting dark in the shadows now, sure is. It is very dark out here. I'm just filming this with the iPhone. And the iPhone doesn't like low light all that well. But it's an awesome location, it really is. But there's so much to see and do here. We've got beaches, we've got jetties, we've got my favourite tree, my little lone tree. On a day like this, we get some nice rocks and water movement. Alright, we're gonna try not to knock that camera over. Yeah, it is a really nice location, Harvey Bay. There's so much to shoot. It's we're spoiled for choice. We really are spoiled for choice. We get an awesome Milky Way up here as well. One of the best in the world. And literally on our doorstep, we can. It's a 5-minute drive from my house to get an epic Milky Way. So yeah, we're very lucky. Okay, so I'm up to 20-second exposure now, which is, now we're talking a proper long exposure. Yeah, the audio, God, it's very annoying, this audio issues. Just subscribe, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, look, there should be a lot more videos coming up soon. I just worked on one yesterday, which is going to be a little bit of an introduction to the channel. It's all based at beginners. And once I get these audio issues sorted out, I'll run through my shots a little bit better. I'm sort of just in the stage of, let's have a look at that shot. So there's my long exposure, look at that. Again, the phone's just not doing it justice. And I'll follow this up with an editing stream. My horizon's not straight. Let me just sort my horizon out. Nothing worse than a wonky horizon. And I'll do that again. Get a little bit more sky, I think. Just sort of want a little bit of a gap down here. So yeah, once we get this live streaming sorted. But yeah, I think the sad truth is that it could just be our reception. It could just be our reception. I did a speed test when I got here and it was just borderline. I think it was 12 meg up and about 12 download and 3.5 upload, and it's the upload that's the key. Okay, so I can see my bit rate and it's not getting over 3.5. So I really do think it could be a reception issue, which will be a shame. Have you been out to try for the comet? I've set my alarm 2 nights in a row, 2 mornings in a row, and motivation wasn't on my side. But no, we're gonna, I think it's the 14th of October. 14th of October, we will get the comet where we're looking now. Okay, so it's going to be out to the west, and it will be at sunset. So sunset is a much more friendly time for me, rather than 4 AM. I would love to have got out to get the comet, and like I said, I did set my alarm to get up, but yeah, motivation just wasn't there, unfortunately. But yeah, look, we'll get it, and I'll send a message out to a few of you, and I'll invite a few people along, and let's all go and get the comet. Free of charge, this one. We'll get out there and go and get the comet. Alright, so now we're really losing. I'm at 30 seconds now. I'm going to get one more down at F9 at 30 seconds. And then we'll call it quits. So again, thank you to everyone who joined in. I do apologise for these audio issues. Yeah, it's just, I really do think it's reception. I've tried everything. And I think it's just going to be our crappy Harvey Bay reception that's going to let us down. So, and if that's the case, look, I'll try and find locations that do have better reception. And yeah, maybe we'll give the piers a try one night. The only problem with the piers at this time of year, the sun kind of sets over the mainland, and I'd rather be out here looking towards our sunset rather than, looking out to the sky. But you know, tonight would have been a good night for the pier. Look, it's very dark. Anyway, thank you to everyone who was here. Yeah, again, I do apologise for the audio issues. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to drop more videos. Yeah, the sound, it's just going to drop in and out. I think it's one of those things, you know, I'm down on the waves. I'm trying to talk over waves. I'm a fair way from civilization. And yeah, the reception is not great in Hervey Bay. I really do think it's just a case of, you watch, as I start to walk this way, this is more of a test for me than anything. I'm just going to keep walking. And I reckon the closer we start to get back towards the mainland, the better our audio should get. So sorry about the video. Quite happy for people to tune out now. This is more just an audio test for me to see if I sort of come back this way, whether the audio gets better as we get closer to reception, which I think it will. I think as we get closer to reception, the audio should start to pick up a bit. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame about the audio. It's the one thing that's kind of killing the streams at the moment. So as you can see, it's almost dark. Look, I won't bore you with my voice talking. Sounds great now, yeah. I think it's, you know, again, I'm getting closer to the mainland. I'm a fair way out, fairly low tide, so I'm walking a fair way out on the rocks. And yeah, with all the waves crashing, look, it could be noise reduction kicking in. Could be lots of things. But yeah, look, I'll sort it out. But yeah, I don't want to rush out and buy new mics yet and have the same issue. Because I know when they did the tests on these Ceremonics, they had the best range. Their range was actually really good. It was just all the bells and whistles. The DJI has all the bells and whistles, but the Ceremonics had a decent sort of a range. But yeah, look, it depends on who tests them too. I do have a head torch. It's at home. Yeah, I'm a pro streamer. You got to realise that. I'm a pro streamer, so yeah, head torches at home, my normal torches at home. I was going to show you the app that I use for my long exposures. I'm going to pull out a 10 stop, but the app's on my phone that I'm filming with. So yeah, look, I just want to get these audio issues sorted first. Anyway, I'm going to wind it up there. So thank you to everyone who bared with me, and I'll do a editing session. What's today? Yeah, look, I don't know. I'll do one soon, and we'll go through the photos that I've taken tonight. And I can guarantee you the audio when I'm at home will be... And I use these same mics at home. Okay, so these same microphones, I use these at home and they work fine. So thanks again to everyone who was here. And yeah, I think we're just going to have to put up with the crappy audio for these live streams, unfortunately, until I can find a location with some good service. Anyway, on that note, I will leave you all and try and find my way back home in the dark. All right, thanks again and see you soon.